constitutional rights.
No.
He has constitutional rights. Do you have a sign?
No, you need to leave.
For me?
Turn around here. Turn around and leave that.
He is under.
I'm gonna arrest you.
under arrest. You are going to be placed under arrest.
Do you have a signed judicial warrant for me?
Can somebody go in the hallway and get Lisa for me, please? Can somebody go in the hallway and get Lisa for me? This is an Alderperson who's being under arrest. I need my other staffer who's in the hallway by registration to come here, please.
Welcome to The Broken Shift. My name is Natalie. Hit that like button, subscribe, and yep, you saw it. You're seeing it for yourself. We're going to talk about this. I was in the wonderful world of the nursing subreddit and I came across this and I decided I'm going to talk about it. This is not about politics. This is about healthcare. Chicago Alderperson says federal agent handcuffed her at Humboldt Park Medical Facility. And our nurses, this was posted by a nurse anonymously because she is worried about what is she supposed to do now? How are you supposed to keep your patients safe? I'm going to read this and then I haven't read through the comments yet. I don't believe this is not something that's political. This is an ICE agent that is detaining an Alderperson at the hospital. I guess they were looking for someone. We're gonna find out together. I'm not completely sure what they were doing. I just clicked on this video. We're gonna watch the rest of it, but I wanna read her comment and then we'll finish watching this video together to see what happens here. But with healthcare being stressful already, I cannot imagine the stress that's happening in the hospital right now. If you're in the hospital, you're dealing with this, you can comment. You're not afraid to comment. Drop me a comment down below and let me know how you are dealing with this, because this is not political. This is so not political. This is about healthcare, safety, and being able to keep our patients safe, guarding their health information, and with HIPAA, health information and privacy. I don't work for ICE. I'm not going to make any negative comments about that. I'm going to let everybody come to their own conclusion. Then we're going to go through the comments and see what nurses have to say and how, because I'm sure in this nursing subreddit, nurses are divided politically, but have a sense that nurses are not divided when it comes to caring for their patients. But we'll see how this goes, because it seems excessive. I don't know what the laws are as far as ICE, because things keep changing, but I do know that this is causing additional stress for people in the hospital. So let's see what happened. We're gonna go read through this together. We'll finish watching the video and then you guys drop me some comments and we'll go through the comments together. This one today might be a little bit longer. I am trying to remain unbiased, but it's hard to remain unbiased when you can see that this is in a hospital and there are patients there, and it feels a little bit excessive. But let's see. ICE rolled up. What are we supposed to even do now? ICE rolled up in a hospital, refused to show a signed judicial warrant, and then arrested an elected official who tried to intervene. After the raids on that apartment complex in Chicago of U.S. citizens dragging naked children out into the street in zip ties that took place this morning. As a nurse, I'm terrified of how to protect our patients. They stopped playing by the rules a long time ago, but now it's getting even worse. Every day things are getting worse. I'm physically ill right now, just thinking about the fact I have to take my children up to Portland to see their specialist next week, and who knows what's going to happen. How do hospitals, clinicians, and medical professionals protect our community members when we're the only one playing by the rules? Let's watch the rest of this video and then we're gonna read some comments, okay?
You are hurting. I am asking, I'm
Can
not.
somebody get my staffer, please?
This is a hospital. Do you have a signed judicial warrant for him? I am asking. I am asking. I did not touch
We
you.
told you to leave.
I did not
You're
touch you.
impeding. Now you're
I
under
did not
arrest for
touch you.
impeding.
I did
Thank
not
you.
touch you.
Where-
I asked you if you had a
Is
signed
Lisa still out there?
judicial warrant for him. It is very simple. It is very simple. That man has constitutional rights.
You guys let me know. I don't know what hospitals are doing out there. She says she's asking for a signed judicial warrant. Is that something that hospitals are allowed to ask for? I don't currently work in the hospital. I don't know what hospitals are doing. If you are a hospital administrator, please drop a comment and let us know down below, because I'm sure others do not want to find themselves in this position.
I did not touch you. It is a public space. I am not trespassing. I am asking you. Do you have a signed judicial warrant? I am asking. Do you have a signed judicial warrant for him? It is a question, sir. You are an agent. You are a federal agent.
We do not need a
You are a
warrant for
federal
somebody
agent. I am an elected official, and I am asking. Do you have a signed judicial warrant? I'm the alderman. I'm the
Can you keep recording? I need a call.
Okay, so that was the end of that video. I don't know, drop your thoughts. Drop your thoughts. It's just really unnerving. So yeah, so they arrested this alderman who's an elected official in Chicago. So let's read. One of the nurses here says, "This and everything has made me so sick. I'm from Chicago and grew up not too far from Humboldt Park. I saw videos today of what ICE is doing in the neighborhood I grew up in. I'm from Puerto Rico, just like this alderperson, and the racism I'm seeing towards fellow Latinos and POC is disgusting. I now live in a very red state. I worked with some really hardcore MAGA nurses at a previous job. It was so bad, I quit the job. If ICE comes into my hospital, I will do everything I can to protect my patients. I knew once the administration took over that no one was safe. Citizenship status be damned. I was told I was overreacting. Turns out I wasn't." Someone else says, "My family is mixed. We got a little bit of everything. Dominican, Taino, indigenous, Cuban, white, black, LGBTQIA, and you name it. We got it. My littlest is 8 and she's brown. We live in a blue state, but even still, she is terrified. They are coming for her. When a cop walked into the school the other day for something, she panicked and hid. When she's at a bus stop with her dad and the school police drive by and wave, she hides behind him and tells us she has to keep her arms covered so they don't see her skin. We have a patient who's been with us a while. He doesn't speak much English, but he's lived in the area for 20 years with his family. His visitors are dwindling more and more every day because nobody feels safe. We have a handful of MAGA nurses at my job. When CK was shot last month, they were weeping, but not a peep this month. Not a peep for all those school shootings or Melissa Hortman and her husband." We're not going to get political. I'm trying to stay out of the politics, but the nurses are dropping some politics in here, right? So this is not, it just is what it is at this point. It just is what it is, right? Another nurse says, "My husband's side is also everything. He's indigenous, gets mistaken for Mexican a lot. He's legit afraid to leave the house for fear he'll get scooped up just for being brown. He's had past incidents and family deported and him being detained very long ago, so his worry is valid." I just want to see, I'm going through here because I want to see if there are different perspectives or if as healthcare professionals, are we aligned? Are healthcare professionals aligned that this might seem a little bit overboard in the hospital, and this is stressful already? The staffing is a problem at the hospital, and nurses are already stressed, overworked, and this is just creating more stress. But let's see. The nurse says, we follow the law, we uphold HIPAA, we demand the correct warrant. It has to be a judicial warrant to be presented to even tell them if the person they are looking for is there. Exactly, because at the hospital, correct me if I'm wrong, we have to follow HIPAA. So someone just cannot come in and ask for you. First of all, you have to allow for visitors to come. They cannot just come in and search for you at the hospital. You are protected by HIPAA, which is the law at the moment anyway. So it has to be a judicial warrant to be presented to even tell them if the person they are looking for is there. We protect our patients to the best of our ability. And if all else fails, some of us provide distraction. Someone else says, you play by the rules of your profession, which is to always put your patient's safety first. You play by the rules of your moral code and the ethical code of your profession. I haven't had to put my body on the line yet, so take my advice with a grain of salt. But in the words of Anne Feeney, if you've been to jail for justice, you are a friend of mine. Solidarity, my nurse comrade. Someone says, get with an immigrants' right group in your local area. Ask them for cards detailing civil rights in languages used in your area. The local group in Minnesota is MRAC. There are other chapters in the Legalization for All network in California, Texas, Arizona, Illinois, and LA. There are other supporting organizations if you scroll further down that link. Some of these orgs might be a little cagey because they're an obvious target of infiltration by ICE. You can usually find them on socials. Explain who you are and what you're trying to do, and they should at least be able to point you to some resources. Someone else says, what are we supposed to do? What we're supposed to do is follow the law, and I intend to do that. I don't give out information, and I don't let unidentified strangers in to see my patients. If that leads to my arrest, then I guess I get arrested. If it won't be the worst thing that has happened to me at work. So here's the thing. Here's the conundrum for nurses right now, right? In all of this, all politics aside, whatever you think about what's happening aside, there's a law in place that says you have to follow HIPAA. You can get fired and lose your nursing license if you don't follow HIPAA. If you let them in, you can get in trouble for not following HIPAA. You can lose your job and you can lose your license. You can be reprimanded by the Department of Nursing. So what is the Department of Nursing doing or saying about this? Because this is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem for nurses. You put these laws in place, tell the nurses, tell healthcare professionals that they have to follow them. Let's forget about the moral code for just a second, right? The legal code, because as this ICE agent said, he's doing his job. He feels he's legal, but also as a healthcare professional, you feel like it's not a feeling. You're doing the legal thing, because if HIPAA's been around for a long time, and you know that a HIPAA violation is huge. So what are healthcare professionals supposed to do? If you're a hospital administrator, drop a comment. What are you supposed to do? What is the hospital administrator doing about this alderman that asked for a judicial warrant? Is that their policy? Is that your policy? Is that the hospital's policy? As a healthcare professional, as a nurse, I don't allow unidentified people to come in and see my patients. It's a violation. I'm trying to see. All right, so someone responded. In this case, they didn't roll up to arrest this guy. He was already under arrest at a different location, and ICE brought him to the hospital to get medical treatment after he was injured during his arrest elsewhere. ICE just needs an admin warrant to arrest someone in public. Once arrested, they don't need a judicial warrant to maintain custody, especially if they're bringing that person for medical care. They are allowed to maintain custody. Asking them for a judicial warrant here doesn't make sense because he was already arrested and in their custody. They brought him to the hospital and they're not entering to get him. As a nurse, you need to understand if ICE shows up asking to see someone, you ask for a warrant and you call your local security and admin to not allow anyone in to see anybody without a warrant. However, if ICE brings someone in their custody, they will maintain custody over that person while they get medical care. At that point, they don't need a warrant to keep custody over a person, as is the case here. I just saw this, so if you guys know what happened here, it sounds ICE already had this person in custody. They brought him in for medical care. And so since they already had custody over him and they brought him there, they maintain custody. So they don't need a judicial warrant. And that's the law. Here's the problem with this. I just had to think about this because you have change of shift, right? So I think there's a lot going on here. Maybe there's documentation that needs to happen in the chart when in that case, so that the next shift knows, that everyone knows that there is someone in the hospital that's in the custody of ICE, that they were actually brought there for medical attention, as it is sounding that this is the case. Please, if someone knows for sure, drop that in the comments, because if that's the case, then that's just the case. They had him in custody already. They brought him for medical attention and that they maintain custody. That's not just ICE. I think that works the same way. If you're arrested by the police and they take you in to the hospital, they maintain custody of you until you're discharged. All right, let's see. Someone says they detained them without a warrant in the first place. And then someone else says the video clearly picks up midway through all of this. There is a lot that happened before that wasn't recorded. The alderman literally states, and quoted in the article, she went to the hospital because she heard the man was arrested and brought there for medical treatment. So she knew he was already under arrest and brought there in their custody. Let's read. You know what? I'm going to actually pull. Okay, someone else says that they did not show a warrant. They attacked her when they were asked to show one. Read the article. So let's find the article because Yeah, so there's a little bit of dispute over this, whether or not the alderman knew that the person was already detained or not. I guess my point is, regardless, that this is a stressful situation, and if you're an admin at a hospital, please drop us a comment and let us know how you're dealing with this, because the admin is not available, right, after a certain time, and your nurses and your healthcare providers are there through the night. ICE or the police can bring someone in for medical attention at any time. How are we intending to deal with this? I'm going to pull up the article and we're going to take a look. I'm going to pause for a minute and I will be right back. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, so she was handcuffed briefly detained by federal agents inside the Humboldt Park Health Hospital on Friday as tensions continued to rise between local residents and officials and immigration agents conducting enforcement operations in the city. The 26th Ward Alderperson joined other elected officials outside the hospital Friday afternoon to denounce the ongoing militarized immigration enforcement in Humboldt Park and surrounding neighborhoods in the city. In a video posted to her social media page, Fuentes can be seen inside the hospital telling male ICE agent, "We have constitutional rights," as the agent repeatedly states no and instructs her to leave the area. "I am gonna arrest you if you do not leave," the agent tells her. We just saw that. So when Fuentes begins to respond, the agent grabs her and places her in handcuffs. He replies that Fuentes was being arrested for impeding, and she is led away by a second agent. She was taken outside and released from the handcuffs. She said the man being arrested in the hospital is around 37 years old and had broken his leg after being chased by ICE agents. The man has sought legal assistance, Fuentes said, but she claimed ICE is preventing attorneys from speaking with him. Although they chased him down and they caught him, craziness, but whatever you think about that, they brought him into the hospital. It stands to reason that, unfortunately, that since they brought him in the hospital, they had jurisdiction over him. And I just wonder if my question is, the administration at the hospital, are they going to get involved to give some kind of guidance to the healthcare providers? Because there is tension. This is chaos. Can you imagine this is happening? There are other patients in the hospital. This is creating chaos for everyone, for everybody working there, for patients that are at the hospital seeking care. He was probably brought in through the emergency room with ICE. It looks like he broke his legs while he was running from ICE, and so he had been detained by ICE. Mayor Brandon Johnson said Friday, "Any attempts to block this work is a direct attack on democratic accountability and an assault on the rights of the people of Chicago." Fuentes' arrest comes as at least 5 others were taken into custody Friday outside Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Broadview Processing Center. Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker lashed out at the Trump administration for the way federal agents, many of them masked to hide their faces, are treating protesters over the past month, castigating their inhumane tactics, including slamming protesters. So now this is getting political. All right. You guys drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. It looks like there are a number of things going here. They had already chased this man down. They had him into custody. They brought him to the hospital. If the police chases you down and brings you to the hospital, they have jurisdiction and custody over you already. So it sounds like what they were saying in what one of the nurses was saying in the nursing forum is correct. You don't actually need a judicial warrant at that point. With tensions rising, I wonder if the administration is going to do something or put some policies in place to help our healthcare providers. understand how they're supposed to cope with this. Is the Department of Nursing going to get involved? Because when does something become a HIPAA violation? Oh, there's a fine line there of potentially violating HIPAA, and I think that's a great concern for nurses, because that's your livelihood, that's your nurse, and you want to protect your patients. That's your duty. Your duty is to protect your patients. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm really looking forward to seeing what your comments are on this issue, and looking forward to hearing from some administrators out there and what they're doing to help circumvent other situations from happening, like we just saw, like this alderman getting arrested. We definitely don't want to see our healthcare providers in the hospital getting arrested and detained and sent to prison because they're trying to protect healthcare information, because that's the law and that's what they're supposed to do. All right. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me on The Broken Shift. Drop me a comment, subscribe, and love you.